want to go on a hot girl walk.
You know what? And go. Hey fam, what's up? I'm Marcel, your designated hype person and coach here at Peloton, and this is my compadre, Mr. Matt. Mr. Matt Wilpers, already get into it.
Hey, thank you. What's up, everybody? Matt Wilpers here, and we are here to talk about some awesome fitness trends that we spotted in the market, whether it's from your mom, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever.
And we're going to talk about it. We're going to break them down and tell you whether or not we think they're here to stay or they're just trending.
Let's do this. So the first trend we're going to talk about today is the 12-3-30 workout. Have you heard of this?
Never.
So let's talk about it real quick. 12% incline, 3 miles per hour for 30 minutes. So how do we feel about that?
It has nothing on Rebecca Kennedy's hikes. That's how I feel about it. That's how I personally feel.
She's like
about
going
that.
to the moon, right?
Have you seen that ponytail on a 12%?
I always think back, there's 3 training variables, right? Frequency, how often you do something, then duration, how long you do it for, and then intensity. These are the 3 variables you can adjust to like change your fitness, manipulate your fitness in one direction or another. When you're doing something like this, what's same incline, same speed, same frequency, we're doing it per week. At first, I bet people are going to see great results, they're going to like it. Eventually, those results are going to peter out and you're going to plateau because it's the same thing. You're never changing a variable.
Yeah.
I should say we end up doing this like every day, right? 12% incline is an aggressive angle for your lower extremities, right? So I would be worried about feeling some kind of strain or stress on my lower Achilles or my calves.
If they're adding in the appropriate variety to
Yeah.
it in order to be able to gain additional adaptation so they don't plateau.
Stay or go.
I think it's trending, but again, like I said, I think it's trending because people haven't plateaued from it yet.
I think it's here for now, gone tomorrow, but it's cool. Cool
Yeah.
idea. And at the end of the day, I also say, like, if it gets you excited to exercise.
All right, so the next trend that we're seeing is that mobility is now going mainstream, right? So it's the ability to be able to move fluently through your joints. So as a runner, you know, honestly, that was one of the biggest things that limited my ability to even accelerate. I wasn't able to come out of the blocks fast enough, right? Because I didn't have full range of motion. I was just so stiff in my ankles, and I'm still seeing that now. It leads to like Achilles injuries and all these types of things.
As we age, especially men, you start to lose muscle mass, and so you can get really, really tight, and that increases your risk of getting injured. And so if we're attacking that with improving our mobility, we're starting to reduce that risk of getting injured.
Do you think it's trending or here to stay?
This is absolutely here to stay.
Okay, it better be.
So the next trend we're going to talk about is spot bulking. And one of my favorite examples is Build Your Booty program. So have you ever been seeing people working on that booty?
It is. It's his favorite.
Obviously, I should be talking about this, let's be honest. So it's a trend that you see where people are targeting a specific part of their body, increasing the size of a specific part of their body. So what do you think about this trend, Marcel?
In my personal opinion, I think everyone deserves a great peach. I don't think that it's a trend. I mean, honestly, bodybuilding has been around forever. It's not something new. I think the trend itself, Build a Booty program, that's new because we always have these cultural trends on women's bodies. And so now all of a sudden it's acceptable to have a nice butt. And so now we're seeing it specifically targeted to building your bottom as opposed to building your pecs for guys, right?
Yeah, and you see it all over your influencers working on these programs. And like me specifically as a coach, I always want people to think about total body strength and activating and improving total body strength versus just spot training.
I think that it's here to stay. I think that the trend itself is to focus on the glutes, but in a year, 2 years, it's going to be a different body part, and that's going to be something that's always going to be here, but the body part itself may be trending. All right, Matt, the next trend is micro workouts.
Tell me more.
So if you have like a minute, if you have 5 minutes, if you have 10 minutes, no matter what time you have, you use that time and dedicate it to a mini workout. So if you don't have 35, 45 minutes to go and get in a workout, you can do these little micro workouts and still gain some type of like a benefit from it. What do you think?
I mean, I like it. I think that it depends on what we're expecting,
Yeah.
right? And who are we addressing?
Yeah.
If I'm like a rock star athlete trying to make rock star improvements,
Okay.
micro workouts, is it going to make a big difference? Probably not. But if you're coming from not doing a lot of exercise and this is the way you can get into it,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, something is better than nothing, and
Yeah.
I like that.
You know what I just thought of? Micro mobility workouts.
Yes, which is great.
for
Yeah.
rock star athletes. That is the new thing. Check them out. Coming to the Peloton app soon. We do 10-minute extra 10 runs. We do these things all the time because you just don't always have the time, and sometimes what'll happen is you'll miss so many workouts because you didn't have the time. That then the barrier to you becoming consistent is that I haven't worked out in 2 weeks.
You will achieve more because you were consistent with it than you would have if you had
Maybe
like a
on one
banging
day.
30-minute workout in a week.
I feel like it's an allowance of grace. Why beat yourself up for not having more time? That's what I see when you don't take advantage of that time that you have, and you can break a good sweat and then move on.
Yeah. And if you can stay more consistent with a micro workout, I love it. And I think it's here to stay.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think it should be here to stay. I think that it's trending, but I think that I would love for this trend to be a trend that stays.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat this
into
one
this
up.
one.
All right, the next trend we're gonna talk about is called no days off. Taking no days off. It's born out of that culture of hustle and grit. How do you feel about that?
I'm a recovering no days off addict. I used to. I'm gonna be honest.
warm it up.
I'm so happy that you brought this up. I was so guilty of this when I very first started working out. It was this mindset of that every day I had to get after it, and if I didn't, I felt some kind of way disappointed in my performance until I started to see that my performance really suffered and I wasn't getting much stronger because I just never allowed myself the space to recover and to see those gains. And so I allow myself to take rest. I allow myself to, be okay not being in the gym, but I tend to have movement.
I always recommend, hard days hard, easy days easy. And if every day is a hard day, what's going to end up happening is that we're not going to be able to recover. And when you're not able to recover, you're not really absorbing the work that you did during your training session. If you're not healing up from your training session, well, you're never going to get faster. You're going to plateau, get injured, burn out. And so I always think about peaks and troughs, right? If you're trying to get faster and stronger, you have to have peak overload, and then you have to follow it by a trough of easy to recover. Otherwise, you're going to keep breaking apart your body, right? Breaking down your body mentally and physically.
I think that one of the things we also want to think about is the psychological load. So understanding that sometimes deloading is not necessarily just for the physical benefit of yourself, but also for a psychological benefit of yourself. So
No, I agree.
do you think that it's a trend that's going to stay or a trend that's out?
I think it could stay if we give ourselves the ability to be flexible with what is a day on, and if it's continuing to be the same form of exercise, I'd say this is definitely going to go.
A lot of times people need permission to do certain things, and I think that if you can inform yourself, that'll be the permission that you need to understand that you can let go of I need to train every day. So the next trend is actually talking about low impact workouts, and so there's been a trend of just the hot girl walk, which don't ask me to really explain the trend thoroughly.
I want to go on a hot girl walk.
You know what? Yeah, so the trend is just low impact workouts, Pilates. What are your thoughts on low impact workouts?
Number one, I love it because it's getting people to move. Impact can be good because it can be stress your bones, your ligaments, your muscles to get stronger. So I think that we shouldn't always shy away from impact.
As you get older, your body is made up of different type of muscle fibers. Type 2 muscle fibers are your powerhouse. If you don't use these things, you're going to lose these things. And it's one of the first things that you lose. So as you get older, your ability to kind of catch yourself when you fall, that is an impact thing. And if you're always only ever doing low impact things, you're going to not have access to that as you age. So you want to make sure that you're thinking of those things.
But that said, I think that getting people to move and making that fun and exciting and doing hot girl walks.
Yeah,
I'm all about it. Let's go.
So you think this trend is here to stay, or?
I like it.
Okay.
I want it to be here to stay.
Okay.
I think it will be here to stay.
Yeah.
But I also want people to remember impact is not bad.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, I second that. That's all I have to say. Touche.
I know you're a fan of this one.
Okay.
You ready? This trend?
Okay.
Fitness goes outside. So after the pandemic culture, it was like this explosion in outdoor fitness, right? Couldn't find a bike anywhere. Running shoes sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I hope it's here to stay. I think that, getting outside, getting some sunlight, those are things that are really good for our mental health. Let's go outside together. You know what I mean? Let's go outside. Let's go and take a Matt Wilpers
There we
run
go,
outside
that's right.
together, right? Because you can literally just have the audio app on and go outside for a run. We've talked about this over and over again. You and I have both hit on this every single time. It's about variety. And if you don't run with me today, doesn't mean that I think that you're never going to run with me ever again. I'm very secure in my ability to keep you
Y'all should
entertained
secure
and keep
it.
you
It's,
no and keep the goal is to make you feel like you own your workout. That is the key, to empower you to feel confident, and it's your journey, and you get to pull all the pieces in together and make it for you.
I mean, as a person that's been working outside my whole life,
Same.
here to stay.
Yeah. No.
So we hope you enjoyed today's session. We had a lot of fun, and we hope some of the information was helpful. And we cannot wait to see you on the Peloton platform soon.